Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Disco Elysium, where, to be perfectly honest, I'm starting to feel like we're running into some dead ends here on the case. We still have this thing going, right? Alice is running the information on the armor. Tomorrow we can call her back in the Kanema and probably get nothing, is my guess. I just can't see how the serial number on the armor's owner is going to give us any information at all about who shot this guy, right? There's no way those things connect. Which means that we have a pretty limited number of ways forward on the case. We could go back and talk to the Hardy Boys, let them know that we know that actually the guy was shot before he was hanged. I'm a little reluctant to give away that advantage, but I think we might be running out of other options. We do know approximately what type of murder weapon we're looking for, but we have absolutely no leads on where to find one. We could just stumble into it. I've been pretty good at stumbling into things so far, because, it's a video game and the options for where things could be are a lot more limited than they are in the real world. But, we can't know for certain that we would ever just stumble across it. And that's kind of it, right? Joyce and Everard both claim to have information that'll be useful to us, although Everard's mostly talking about where our gun is. But I don't think either one of them is actually going to help us under any circumstance. I think it's very unlikely that Joyce has any information that we don't have already, so I'm certainly not interested in doing her dirty work for nothing. And I think Everard might have information on the crime, but I don't think he would ever give it to us under any circumstances. So I'm certainly not going to help him evict a bunch of people just so that he can lie to me about my gun some more. So that being the case, I'm looking at our unlocked checks and stuff, and honestly, we don't even have a lot of other things to do to go forward. I do want to go back and talk to Joyce about the pail after Kim goes to bed, provided that she's still up. I don't remember if she is at night. And then, apparently, the cargo container door and the set of tracks by the murder scene have been reset, so we could go and have a look at those. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure what we're going to do. I guess we could try the Titus Hardy thing, go down there, put on all of our plus authority clothing, shout at him a bunch, and maybe get something out of him. That's a thing that's probably worth trying before we unload on him about knowing the actual manner of the murder, at least. Beyond that, I don't really know what to do. So we're going to start by going up to that cargo container. And hopefully that'll get us something. So while we're running there, I have been thinking about this game a bit over the weekend. Mostly I've been thinking about Star Wars, because that's how my brain is wired. But I have been thinking about the Kuno situation a fair amount. I think that this game has been really successful in a way that video games just generally aren't, at creating... This is not a thing that only this game has tried, right? There are games that would like to imagine themselves as serious narrative games that have tried the difficult, frustrating character who you grow to have some pity for because you find out he's got a difficult home life. Mostly, I think, that kind of stuff is carried off in a very clumsy, ham-handed way, because I think that in most major video games, all of the narrative stuff is handled in a pretty clumsy, ham-handed way, and I apologize, I'm not going to say any specific examples, because what I'm thinking of are mostly popular, pretty well-regarded games, and I don't want to have any of those arguments in the comments. I just don't care enough to engage in them. But I think this game has been successful at that kind of thing in a way that is almost unique in the industry. Like, I feel really bad for Kuno. I'm very affected by the Kuno situation, to the point that I am definitely not going to give him this speed, and not for I'm a cop reasons, not for don't give speed to kids reasons, but because I legitimately care about the fact that the speed would probably make his life worse. I know he wants it, but I also know he should not have it. And that's better. That's better than most video game narrative is able to do. I'm pleased with what we're seeing here. So this is a rhetoric check we're coming up on. We want to be wearing any clothing that is rhetoric relevant. We don't really have a lot in the way of that stuff, I don't think. Let's see here. Maybe nothing? Do we have no rhetoric clothing at all? I thought we had some. Well, I guess not. That's fine. I don't need any help. My rhetoric skill is high-ish, right? It's sort of high. It's something. It's very low, actually. 3%, man. I guess talking a container door open is pretty non-trivial. I'm gonna knock on the door again. I'm gonna attempt to open the door again. Okay. I didn't figure, but it was worth trying, right? There's very, very rarely downsides to that sort of thing, and we could have sustained a point of health or morale damage safely. Well, what is my morale skills like? Pretty decent, or my rhetoric skills pretty decent. Yeah, it's actually, it's all right. I'm surprised at how hard this check is. Well, again, you're literally talking a container open. I suppose it should be difficult. We might just try it. I'm going to go ahead and try it, because I think if we're going to get this, we're going to have to put some more points into rhetoric first, and doing that will reset the check. So why not just see if we can roll the 12, right? Hey, what a surprise. We didn't. It was worth the shot. So, what else do we want to do? I don't want to try to push myself on Lillian. I think even asking is a pretty shitty thing to do. We don't have whatever it is we need to make the ice cream maker thing happen, and I also don't know where to get a better pry bar. I don't care about interacting with that barbell. The cafeteria window thing is still a total mystery. It might be time to go talk to the Hardy Boys. Well, I guess, okay, we have the option of playing with the set of tracks again. I guess let's go do that. My suspicion is that we're not going to get anything that is relevant to the case out of the tracks. We probably could have at one point, but I bet we are well past the moment where that matters anymore, right? We've already figured out the things we need to know about the crime that we're likely to learn there. My suspicion is mostly that it would help us like figure out that there were actually 8 people, or well, wait a minute, hold on. I'm thinking about the tracks near the murder site. This might be referring to the tire tracks near the crime scene, which were probably my car, right? Actually, I am pretty curious what we would get out of passing that check. It might be something really interesting. Gosh, I wish we could fast travel. So yeah, the investigation on the smuggling, first of all, total dead end, and secondly, I don't think useful, because we don't care about Joyce's nonsense anymore. I guess the Slipstream RCA thing is also worth pursuing. I don't remember what kind of... That was a volition check, right? That's the thing we could put some points in. Okay, hold on. Visual calculus is definitely a thing that we have some equipment for. I will say it bums me out a little bit that the way we reset this was by finding the car. But I mean, the fact that you reset this by finding the car does sort of suggest that there's information here that you don't get just from finding the car. Which is basically what I was thinking. I think this is probably the only piece of relevant equipment we have. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get to it here. It's a pretty likely check. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling rags. This is point A. The driver started here, then accelerated straight into the fence. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building, before heading south. Must have been in a real hurry. Oh, this is where I started off with my motor carriage before sinking it in the sea. Yes, it is. Well, he gestured toward the gaping hole in the fence. You did provide us with a very convenient access point to the crime scene. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Kim. Thanks, Kim. Tim. For trying to find the bright side on that one. That's it, huh? Not even 5 XP. Okay, tracks are as they have ever been. Yes, so we don't have any new options here. Boy, we really don't have a lot we can do. Okay, I guess maybe I know that we're not great at authority, but maybe this is the time to go and put on our big boy boots, literally, and try some stuff on with Titus Hardy. I just really don't know what else we have available to us. So authority up. Uh-oh, I have a thought. No? Huh. I heard that ding. That ding has, in the past, always meant that we had a thought, hasn't it? I definitely have some other plus authority clothes. I think one of our jackets has authority on it. The glasses are bad. This is not really our character's deal, man. This is gonna be a little weird. No, maybe all of our jackets just have esprit de corps on them. Yeah. Well, at least we're not wearing any minus authority stuff. It's probably good to go in with a high drama skill, because my suspicion is that there will be lying. Don't know if any of our glasses really make sense. It might make sense to just not wear any glasses, so I don't think we're going to need visual calculus as much as we need drama. As far as jackets go, right now I'm wearing plus endurance. That's definitely not the one I want. A patrol cloak might make more sense. Plus suggestion might be good, though. Yeah, I think maybe I like plus suggestion. And then shirt-wise, right now we're wearing plus drama, which I do like. That might be what we leave on. You know, no downside from wearing the mesh tank top, as long as it's underneath our naval coat so that Titus can't see it. Plus logic wouldn't be bad either. Our drama skill is 8 right now. I wonder if we need it that high. I'm wondering if I might prefer the point of logic. I don't know. Alright, pants-wise, we are wearing savoir-faire pants. Probably not directly relevant to our ability to converse. But we don't actually have a lot of pants that are relevant to our ability to converse. We want the authority shoes. Okay, I guess this is as ready as we're getting. Unless I want to swap my shirt. I'm going to swap my shirt. We have plenty of drama. Boy, oh boy, do we have plenty of drama. Alright, let's take some wild swings here. See if we can't get something. I wonder if it would be smart to start by talking to the lawyer? Also, just out of curiosity, is it time? It's not time. We made Gart a little bit happier last time. I mean, we may as well just real quick talk to him, see if there's anything new. I can't imagine.
Was there something you needed?
Okay, that's friendlier than usual. Bringing that bird sure made a difference in his attitude. Okay. Saw another thing. Okay, no, I did not see another thing. There's nothing new. And our smoking friend here, I think we exhausted all of our options with him too, right? Him trying to stand directly between me and him. Okay, I don't have this composure check available. Alright. What is my effective... My effective authority is 3. That's not very good.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
We could try this. We could try... The thing is, as much as I think he probably would listen to Everett, he probably also has an understanding of what the word cooperate means that is not exactly what we want it to mean. An attempt at establishing authority here is going to fail, almost certainly. But, only almost. It's just so out of our character. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm thinking about whether or not any of these things are going to give us a bonus on this check. I did find someone who kind of saw the hanging, sort of, but not in a way that's helpful at all. But maybe we could bluff. Let's try this. Hey, I found someone who saw the hanging. A witness. A witness? The tall man crosses his arms on his chest. You ain't got shit. The locals would never come to you with this. That's just cop tactics, Titus. Next, he's going to tell you one of us already rolled on the others and is in witness protection. Oh, well, my witness isn't a local. Titus scratches the back of his head and asks, well, let's hear it then. Who is your mystery fella? This goes without saying, but obviously no, obviously we're not doing that. Do I even want to say he's a high-ranking government official? I want this to seem real enough to Titus that he's spooked by it, but not give him enough information that he could potentially arrange some kind of... Boy, the word was in my head and it just slipped out. You know, a bad thing to happen to this person. Reprisal, that's the word I want. But maybe a reprisal against a high-ranking government official is not a good idea? I don't know. I don't think they'd be afraid. Then again, the witness is gone already, right? This sounds like a lie. I think the core problem I'm having with this result here is that it sounds like I'm lying, and I think Titus will think I'm lying. I don't know, maybe he knows cigarette guy, and so he might know... He might know enough to know that there is a guy like that comes around sometimes. Alright, let's say option 2 here. Let's just say he's a high-ranking government official and leave it at that. Yeah, right, like we wouldn't know if an MI plant was in our town. Titus looks over his shoulder to his men. Nice try, right? See, yeah, that was what I was afraid was going to happen. I've seen this shit a million times, Titus. Fly fishing. They're desperate. He turns to you. Tell us, Copper, what wacky claims did he make? Okay, these are all true, right? These are all things that the witness did actually say. The witness said the hanging went down very quietly. No shouting, no commotion. It's you assholes that feel the need to go around like a fucking brass band. By the way, I don't remember what any of these dudes' voices sounded like, aside from Titus. The Hardy Boys are dead silent. Yeah, it's like they put cowbells on you before they send you to the streets, he says provokingly. What's with the cowbells, policeman? They're avoiding having to answer the question. Yeah, I'd imagine you guys drinking and singing lynching songs. What's with the funeral silence? We were drinking, he looks around. Weren't we, guys? I hit the bottle hard. I was drunk as fuck. Right. I'm convinced, Glenn, he nods sarcastically. Nothing off here, just a regular hanging. Glenn looks around uncomfortably. The lieutenant hit a nerve. Okay, that's not exactly how I thought that was going to go, but that's alright. The witness said he saw 2 people of Aeropagite descent and 1 Meske. Aeropagite? He starts laughing. Boss, I think he's trying to say me and Theo. Well, yeah. What's confusing you? Eugene, Theo, and Elaine were there too. I already told you, we were all there. The witness said it all looked like a surreal play. It's hard to imagine this having any effect at all, right? I think I'm going to skip that one. Alright, enough about the witness. There's some witness. I pulled the same shit. Come up with some shit, then went and said it to people. Get a reaction. Don't have to go to cop school to try that. No, you just have to go to the internet. Now, you don't have to go to cop school for shit. I never went to school, and I'm doing great. Hey, you're doing a hell of a job, man. Hell of a job. So much bluster to hide the fact that they're uncomfortable with you having this info. Okay, that's something. That's pushing it up toward that magic 7. Do I want to divulge this? I think what I want to do here is try the authority check now. And then if it doesn't pass, we can push on this thing, because I think there's a chance that we'll be able to reset the check by gaining a bonus from this. 42% is not that unlikely. Okay, sometimes you just roll an 11. As you look around this room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? Wait, where have I seen this before? You believe it was the place. You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with, almost exclusively, men sitting on desks, talking shit and wasting time. Oh, I get it, Titus. You guys really are the authority around here. Well, have you seen my boots? Huh? You must be. You're just like real cops, drinking beer and sitting around with your dicks in your hand. He leans in. You got a problem with beer now? Oh, not quite there. Push on. Let's not say I got so drunk I drove my car into the sea. So I have a beer problem, but not a problem with beer. Boy, none of these are good options. None of these establish our authority. I guess this is the best one? Because at least this comes across as me as like mocking. I really thought when we clicked on a thing that said establish your authority, I really thought that it was going to go a little bit different than it is. No, I'm also a big fan of beer. And jerking off instead of helping people. You saying we don't help people? He puts the beer down. I've been doing this job for 10 years. Martinez was a dump before we put this outfit together. They don't know you, man. They weren't here. He turns to you. We had 3 shootings a week. Kids dead, fucking graffito everywhere. You cops haven't shown up since the 30s. Congratulations on the graffito removal. He turns to Titus. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim. So what? What the fuck do you want from me? We took care of that fuck. He picks the beer back up. Don't let him drink that. One more push, quick. See, this is me inserting myself, which is ordinarily not how I want to do it, right? Because we want Titus to think about the victim, not about stonewalling us. However, what I am doing here is this, like, explicitly attempting to establish my authority. No, we're gonna go at it this way. I'm gonna use the fact that presumably he cares about the victim at least a little bit to sort of lever open that door a little bit. It's not about who did it, it's about the victim. She needs help. Titus, he looks at her. She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You've got him. He's gonna give it up, but on his terms. Yeah, you want to help her, cop? Fine. I'm gonna let you help her, but you treat her with respect. And if you don't, if you question her, harass her, Titus taps his chin with his fist. A freight train of pain, buddy. The lieutenant takes out his notes. What is her name? Plasia Amandu. She's staying here at the Whirling in Rags. A real pretty one, silvery jumpsuit, blonde. Titus adjusts his cap. That's Amandu with an O-U. Shit, the girl upstairs. That can't be her. She knows you drank so hard you forgot you were a cop. Yeah, it's gonna complicate things slightly. Boy. That's a tough composure check. Miss Orania Disco Dancer. Sure, why not? You've probably seen her around. He nods upstairs. Well, bad news. 8% is like, we have to roll a 10, I think? That's pretty bad. No, 8% is probably an 11. Well, we don't have any other option. I must click on this, so let's click on it. Yeah, I failed the check, but I healed that point of health I was missing. You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name, with your eyes bulging like some wild beast. Your fingers are fidgeting and sweat starts forming on your brow as Titus looks at you oddly. I don't understand what's so cool here. Nothing. He gives you a sideways glance. We just have a few more questions, then we'll be on our way. Calm, normal, just try to forget this little hiccup. We should not laugh nervously. So what was her relationship with the mercenary? Relationship? There was no fucking relationship. He raped her, that's their relationship. Something's off here. His anger is possessive. Yeah, it was like that karaoke incident all over again. Or like some of the other girls he was harassing. Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation. So, what is your relationship with her? I know her. He looks around and an uncommon silence fills the room. How well do you know her? Small twitch at the corner of Kim's mouth. He has a hunch about what knowing means. Hey, listen, we've all read the Bible. Actually, probably not. Well enough, Copper. We partied. She's been here for a few months. He crosses his arms. So she's not from around here, then? You mean Revachol? Nah. Our Miss Aranya disco dancer is an immigrant or a drifter of some sort. Been staying here over the winter. Don't you give her any more trouble, the fat guy blurts out. She just had some bad luck, that's all. Shut up, Angie. Angie? I said Angie, and I was like, wow, that's not a thing people call each other. But it's Angus, right? You don't call a guy named Angus Angie. He slaps his forehead. She doesn't need your help. Titus gives them both a look, and they fall silent. What's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this. You should keep picking at it. Yeah, well, I mean, I am a cop, that's kind of my job. So you said you partied. That's cool, that's cool. But what did you mean? What do you think I meant? Well, the laughs nervously option is the correct answer, but again, I'm trying not to look like an unprofessional, nervous idiot in front of all these dudes. I mean, we could just go straight to, was it sex? I like this answer because it couches it all together and it makes it harder for him to give, like, such a flat denial. Yeah, let's just say, was it sex? Yeah, pretty much. So you're saying the two of you were close? No, we just fucked, that's all, he states matter-of-factly. I'm not going to give you any details if that's what you're after, so put your dick away. He really went out of his way to seem comfortable with this topic. That's all you're going to get for now. He's doing a good job here. A commendable performance of I don't give a shit. We know the answer to this question, don't we? Didn't they already give us kind of a rough timeline? Maybe not. Alright, you know what? The thing is, even if they did give us a rough timeline, I personally don't remember, so let's ask. So the rape, when was that? He did it before we killed him. He's not going to do it again. He crushes his half-empty beer can. So what does it matter? It would help if we establish a timeline. Alright, 2 weeks maybe? I don't know, I need another beer. He turns to Glenn. Okay. Thank you, we'll talk to her. He points his beer can at you. Remember what I said. Freight train of pain. Okay, I don't think we gotta talk to him anymore at the moment. So, that's a little bit of a tricky thing, because she's not been down in a place where we can talk to her since the beginning of the game. Kim wants to have a chat about something.
What was that?
What was what? He looked strange when he mentioned the assault victim's name. He looked you in the eye. He looks you in the eye. Do you know that woman? Yeah, we're not going to lie to Kim. Is there something I should know before we talk to her? Whatever you do, don't say the first... Yeah, okay. Yeah, she... I think this is probably the best way to encapsulate the worrying information here. She knows I did some pretty crazy stuff before I passed out. That I partied hard, and not very mental healthily. So she overheard you? Or did you party together? She overheard me listening to music and doing weird things from her room. It's the one next to yours. Anything else? No, not really. I mean, like, I feel like that's all of the information, right? I guess maybe it's good for him to know that I met her after waking up. I don't know that a lot of this is really relevant. I guess let's just give him everything. Okay, you were not in good shape Monday. She knows I didn't remember being a cop. That's manageable. I asked her where we are, what city is this, maybe even what year, something like that. He shrugs. Oh, that's clearly your interrogation technique. Anything else? No, that's the whole deal. Alright, you feel fortified by his assurance. It's gonna be alright. Is it, though? Nothing? You're still in for a bumpy ride here. Try not to mess it up. Yeah, well, we'd have to actually get to her to speak to her first, right? So we have not... it seems like ever since we first spoke to her, she's been up on the roof smoking in a way where we can't reach her. That's weird. Have we always had a little bit of vision into the room? Oh, hey, she's actually home. Voice is tired and controlled. This is the police. Can we come in? Hey, come on up. The door's open, she shouts. I'm drying my hair. Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. You could snoop around before going up. Oh, I absolutely intend to. Of course I'm going to. You know how I love to snoop. It's worth so much XP. Hotel bill calculations. Looks like she's had an extended stay. Piles of dirty clothes. Hold on. Should we change up our stuff here? I'm going to go ahead and swap over the shoes at the very least. It was awfully nice of Kim not to say anything about those shoes. I kind of like these pants. These are pretty good pants. I think we might leave these on. And honestly, like, this next part's pretty much just going to be an interview, right? It may well be the case that we are well attired for an interview already. A point of Inland Empire losing a point of perception is probably okay, actually. Now that I think about it, because our perception is so very high. What's my standing perception right now? 9? I have no idea, by the way, what we want to do with this skill point. How's our thought thing going? Alright, so we still have a long time on this, 15 hours. We could drop something from our thought cabinet and then replace it with something else. I don't know. We probably want this to be a skill point. I just don't know what in yet. Alright, let's see. Can we get back here? Can indeed. First of all, let's check the medicine cabinet. Full of wares. Sheets of pills haphazardly stacked on top, one on top of the other. There's also a toothbrush in there somewhere. Well, I guess let's have a look. Toothbrush has been used quite a lot. But not for scrubbing blood off tiles, or anything else interesting, it seems. It's clean of chemical odors, too. Just some dried toothpaste on the handle. That's a weird set of things to need to notice. This toothbrush belongs to someone who doesn't give a damn about her teeth. What about the medications? These are probably more interesting. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves. Sheet upon sheet and pill bottle next to pill bottle. Acetylic acid, APAP, eye drops, blood thinners... Let's, before we say anything here, let's finish looking. Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. Paracetamol, histoparidol, something in a foreign language you can't read, and behind them an unusually shaped nasal spray. Its label reads, Nacra. Hey Kim, what's Nacra? An opioid receptor antagonist. It's used for diamorphine overdoses. You could say he's on the lookout. Now, what about the pill sheets? Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotwaldian, marked red blister packs, you find... Wait, what do you find? This is going to take a little know-how. Well, it turns out I know a thing or two. We could electrochemistry ourselves up a little bit. So yeah, hold on, let me close the cabinet and then change my gloves to make it easier to search. I think we have quite a bit of electrochemistry stuff, don't we? I mean, first of all, obviously, fingerless gloves. But I think we have some, we have some pants for this. Better at searching pill cabinets when I'm wearing my jeans, obviously. Why would that not be the case? Is that it? That might be it. There we go. Got my searching outfit on. Still a very goofy mechanic. A bright orange bottle with Preptide stamped on it, in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms begin to sweat just holding that little plastic container. So I could just steal it. Hands are sweaty, apparently, which is a problem, but my interfacing is super high because I'm great at everything. Wait, what's so exciting about this orange bottle? It's speed, man! Just what you were looking for. They call it dextroamphetamine and talk about psychological disorders, but what we're seeing here is some scientifically advanced trucker speed. That's interesting. Do I want to lift her speed? Basically, one thing we have to think about here is whether this is going to come back on us, right? She knows that she let us in. So if her speed goes missing, she's not going to have a ton of guesses as to who took it. Do I think it's a problem? Do I think it's a thing she would feel safe complaining about? We might take a hit to further interaction with her. But also, stealing stuff is good XP and also maybe a habit for our character. Maybe one that we haven't yet broken. Also, maybe we just want to have some speed. Listen, we're giving up the alcohol. We're not giving everything up. I'm going to go for it. I think we can hit this check. Wow, we're rolling like crazy today. Silently, the bottle slides into your palm, then, as you turn, into your pocket. Wow, that's a loud noise. Feels so sleek and beautiful. You got it. Here comes the afterburner. Time to become a super detective again, Harry. Just put it in your sweaty little hand now. Hey, there's quite the collection in here. Anything of note? He asks in a lowered voice, and then I just close the cabinet. Not suspicious at all. So now we have 2 bottles of speed. This one does not have a straw. Well, I don't know if we're ever going to need to take speed, but I do know that we now have the option. I also know that I'm going to change my clothes. Let's go back to our patrol cloak. I think. Actually, I wonder. Maybe we should leave on the silk robe. No, let's do this. Also, FALN pants and... I don't know, man. Okay, what's this? You see the yard below. The corpse is no longer there. Well, that's good. If I had looked out the window and seen the corpse still there, that would have been a real, a thing I would have had some serious questions about, given what else has happened so far. The bed has been hastily made. That's a little suspicious. His window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo. I run my finger across the surface of the glass. It's smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain on the outside, even smudges, but the surface of the window is clean from the inside. No chips, no hairline fractures. Following your lead, the lieutenant leans in closer to inspect the surface. Yeah, that's interesting. This window was recently replaced. Looks like it, yeah. And it was yellow highlighted, so I'm assuming that's a thing that we only noticed because of our high perception. Wait, really? That's that whole loading zone? It's pretty weird. Well, we can ask her about that. I'm pretty curious about that one. The smell of cigarette smoke in the air. Astra menthol. Look, a handful of dried white wildflowers. Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. I'm going to snatch them out of the air. I should not always try the checks. The wind brushes them off the roof. They're gone. That's a shame. That would have been neat. I don't know that would have been, useful, but... Cold coffee and an ashtray that looks like a hedgehog. There's a new Sonic the Hedgehog joke in there somewhere, but I can't find it. The young woman has a cigarette in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. Her hair is still slick from the shower. Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean. Okay, sense of electrochemistry, calm down.
Sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will.
Wait, is there a cleaning lady? I think I need one.
Oh yes, Legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell is opened in there.
Hell? You know not of which you speak. Yeah, Disco Infernum.
They also say that's why the cleaning lady quit. Because of the infernum.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
I wonder if it's going to affect this situation at all that she seems to know what happened with Sylvie.
Have I ever? This is the biggest fan of ostentatious orchestrations I have ever seen in my life, and I have seen a few. Oh yeah, life gets hard, but we go on.
Things are only getting easier for me. I'm a policeman, and then I make a siren noise. Here's a question. How much do I want to seem like a person she can, feel friendly about, and how much do I want to seem like a cop here? Because we do need to get information. It needs to be clear... Man, I was going to say it needs to be clear to her that she can't just decide not to tell me things, but maybe that's not a good approach. I don't know. Yeah, it's gotten pretty hard in the meantime, but I go on. This is more like commiseration. This is probably good.
I can see that. I'm glad all this onward going has brought you to me.
That's interesting.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people who put him there have asked us to talk to you.
I see.
She takes a pensive drag of her menthol cigarette. Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, use words like, I hear you've been through something difficult. Interesting that that's suggestion and not empathy, speaking up. This is a nice room you got here. Yeah, it's pretty deluxe. So that window's new, huh? It is. She moves slightly to her left to check her reflection in it. The lieutenant makes a note in his notebook. He finds the answer unsatisfying. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really an answer at all, right? So, what are you doing here, in the whirling in rags? I'm wintering. How long have you been staying here? She calculates. About 4 months. I came in November. Well, why here? Here in the Whirling? Here in Martinez, or here in Revachol? Here in Martinez. It kind of feels like nobody would ever want to be here on purpose. I heard this is where the washed-up disco has-beens go. No, this is Sassy Town. It's where the future of dance lies. This is such a weird thing I almost can't not say it. No, in fact, I completely can't not say it. If you say so, officer. If you say so. I'm not going to get on her about her drugs. We're trying to be on her side here, right? I have some other questions for you. Okay. She takes a pensive drag of her cigarette. Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke. This is the part where we do this, right? If I say, "What is your name, miss," for the record, that turns it into an official police interview in her mind. If I just go to number 3 here, we're sort of just people talking, not that she's not aware we're cops, but, you know. I think I'm going to skip this. Let's just go to number 3. But do we actually know her full name? I don't think we do. Let's just go to number 3. They tell us you've been through something difficult. Something difficult? She raises her eyebrows. I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. Which one do you mean? Boy. What's the right way to broach that subject? Were you sexually assaulted, miss, is gentler, but it's also way more official. I sort of wish that there was a version of this that didn't have miss on the end of it. I want to talk to her like we're two people. So... Boy. She's gonna have a reaction to this, though, huh? I want to approach it gingerly, I want to approach it in a way that makes it obvious that I'm not taking this as a real matter-of-fact thing. I understand that it's potentially a really emotionally stressful thing for her. But I also don't want to sound like I'm a cop interviewing her, you know? We can't split that difference with these options. I guess let's go for the top one. Okay. Feels like I maybe should have taken the other. By sexually assaulted, you mean raped? She takes a quick drag, unperturbed. Yes. It's a bit early in the morning for raped, isn't it? Well, no. She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered. Well, what does that mean? Were you... Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. She draws the word out. I'm gonna go with not raped. I can't say that stuff about him. Tell him it's not my style. They'll have to, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more... She searches for a word, then shrugs. Rapeable. It's all very organic. Her mannerisms, her movements. If she's acting, she's quite gifted. And by they, yes, thank you, Rhetoric. By they, she means the Hardy Boys. Are you saying you were asked to tell us you were assaulted? Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery, sexual assault maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. So Titus asked you to spice things up for us. Pretty much. She cradles her coffee cup in both hands. Warming them. Yeah. Thank you, interfacing. I understand how coffee cups work. So what did happen between you and the victim? We partied. What kind of partying? Points to my bloated face. Wait, partied. Where have I heard that before? Well, a lot of partying going on. From Titus, about her and Titus's relationship. That's where you heard it. It's weird that that was even a thing that I would have trouble remembering, given that that happened 10 minutes ago. It's so weird that we can't just move on. Like, it's 100% clear what she means, and it would be, like, to our character, it would be 100% clear what she means. Why do I have to interrogate this? I guess, what kind of partying? The kind I do? With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. Harder than this? Keep pointing to your face. I didn't know it was physically possible. Oh, it is. She takes a long drag. You're still alive. So what did you do when you partied? We drank, sir. She takes a sip of her coffee. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him. What else? Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. Were feelings involved? A little. The drugs were good enough, and we did enough of them. How did you two meet? The lieutenant's voice is quiet and calm. Downstairs, she taps on the roof with her 10-centimeter heel. At the bar. He was on some sort of assignment. A military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar. And when was this? A month ago? Something like that. So it must have been hard for you, seeing him there. Yeah, she says bitterly. I've had a great view. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams. A bitter cringe. It hurts. You look to the lieutenant. So we definitely made that worse by not getting the body out of the tree for a full week. It might explain some of her weird demeanor toward us. Kim takes a small step closer. You called us, the RCM. Yes. Okay. That's good to know. That's a thing we had questions about. I don't feel like I need to get involved here. Seems like Kim's got it under control. Really? That was only worth 10 XP? I made it, she nods. And I would appreciate if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching. Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss. The caller's voice was disguised. Well, I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. Nicked it? How? With nail clippers, and I diverted some radio fuzz into it, into the cold wire. So she's Gart's mystery phone cutter. And in the process, you broke the landline downstairs. Did I? She looks into her coffee. Fuck, I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing. Jigsaw falling into place. This is satisfying. Good catch, I appreciate the symmetry. Still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever, crossing the lines like that. Well, it seems like you had some idea. That was nifty. Thanks, she manages a smile. She looks a bit like a little girl who's just been complimented on her bike repair skills. But why go through all the trouble? Especially if you were just going to tell the cops the first time they asked. I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the Union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires. We're not entirely convinced about that answer, but okay, let it slide. Pushing won't help here. Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do. I didn't want to, sir, but if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. Okay, so what can you tell me about him? Name, eyes, age? I'm sorry, I can't do it. She puffs on her cigarette. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him like he is now. I can't talk about his, hair? I know it's difficult, miss. We can return to it later. So... yeah, we gotta ask the question. Hold on. Let's start with the bullet in the head. I think I'm okay with her knowing that we know what really happened. And I think if we jump forward a little bit here, I might get her off balance a little. In a way, hopefully in a way that's mostly just useful and not traumatic. Why was there a bullet in his head? Bullet? There's a silence. Her brows meet in the middle for a pained frown. Pained frown. They shot him too? Oh, she didn't know. That's not good. I'm not picking up any theater craft here, sir. The pause is sincere. They stripped his clothes and they shot him. You mean after they hanged him? I'm confused. Sorry. So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot, miss? Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I wasn't present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me, and Sylvie, the bartender. This is beginning to get confusing for you, too, and we don't like that. Where was she last Sunday night? Yeah, actually, where were you when this happened? Cowering. I was cowering downstairs with Sylvie. So what did they hang him for, if not rape? He had something to do with the strike? One's been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing, she thinks, but you probably know all about it. And his role in this strike was what? I think he was in the security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean, but I understood it was dangerous. And they lynched him for it. She nods. Okay, so they tried to make it into a personal matter to divert our attention away from the business with the strike, which means that he was shot for reasons directly pertaining to the strike. Maybe just, maybe it really is just that simple. How do the Hardy Boys know you? Seems like a real weird question to ask, given that, they're in the same building all the time. I don't know, there might be a useful piece of information in here, though. They're frequent guests downstairs. She looks at the floor. It's hard. They have a booth for Union members. They're probably down there now. And how did you meet? Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. Did you party? A little, yeah. Like you partied with the deceased? No, not as hard. I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys? I have. Which one? Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously, but as I said, it's been a long winter. Right, and all that partying was happening. Well, that answers some of our questions. Doesn't really help that much, though. Thank you for telling us all this, miss. She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid. We should head back downstairs, officer? The lieutenant looks at you. We may have things to discuss there. Wait a moment. I had something else before we go. A little thing. Just one more question. She nods. Silvery cigarette fume disappears into her mouth. What is your name, miss? For the record. Lasha Amandu. Okay, so yeah, that's right. Of course we knew her full name. I'm asking like, oh, wait, do we know her full name? Yeah, Titus just told us her full name. Does it help us to ask any of this stuff? Since she's not she ends up not being relevant to the case at all. I mean, like, Titus is mad about the dude getting with the lady that he is interested in. So maybe that probably does factor into what happened a little bit, but I don't know, man. I think she's probably beyond what we know now. She's probably not actually relevant to the case. So I don't know that we need to dig in here very much. Yeah, thank you. That's it for the record. I'm curious what our reaction speed was trying to get at. And this stuff doesn't, yeah. We don't need this stuff. Look her in the eye. Well, we're probably going to fail this. You know, there was already a volition check that I was interested in resetting, so maybe we're about to gain a point of volition. Oh, maybe I'm just going to roll 10s. Soft, light brown eyes look back at you, directly into the space behind your eye sockets. You see the smoke rise from between her painted red lips. She's beautiful. I have bad news for you. Oh no. What is it? You know these guys? Wait, who? Me? Yes, you. He's talking about you, you boring stiff. You too? Me? What did I do? These guys are compromised. She's got them singing along to her tune. The little bleeps and bloops you trust for info. You can't trust them anymore. Well, okay. That's better than I thought it was going to be. When he was all, I have bad news for you, I thought it was going toward you also partied with her in that same way, which obviously is compromising to the investigation. This is compromising to the investigation too, but in a way that Kim will be less angry about. Oh my god. Believe it. So which ones exactly are affected? Well, there's no way of knowing. At the moment, I'm afraid it's best to assume all of them. Bullshit, man, I ain't compromised. Especially that guy. That guy's the most compromised one in here. No fucking way, man. I just want a drag of that sweet menthol Ziggy. Really? Quick, tell me what's under her jumpsuit. Yeah. Glory, truth, softness. Protect her, she wants you. I take it back. He's got it pretty bad, but this next guy is on another level entirely. She likes you. The crown head is a boring condom. He's jealous. This is human nature. Yeah, okay. This makes sense. So, I mean, does this mean she's been lying to me? Yes, Mr. Thespian here has been singing pains to how truthful she is. She isth? This is not a thing. We are well beyond Shakespearean nonsense here. Isth is just garbage. A lady most fair and just. In his defense, to reduce him to such inadequacy, she probably had to employ half-truths more often than outright lies. That is correct, and omissions too. Alright, can we trust rhetoric? A little. They're all still of limited use, interpreting things to the best of their ability. Maybe they add flair or something. I wouldn't know. I don't add flair. But when it comes to assessments of character and factual accuracy, they are not to be trusted, not with her. Well, can I trust any of them ever again? Don't be melodramatic, you can trust them, just not with her. A light green speck, an imperfection, on the outer rim of her right iris. It sparkles. So what is her plan? You can't draw a sound conclusion. The one who usually does says she may want to control the information rollout, not to become a suspect. She may have a past she's escaping, unrelated to the case. You doubt it's something truly insidious. No, of course not. See? It's oddly moderate, probably compromised. Yeah, that's a problem. So the game's gotten us real used to trusting the voices inside of our head. It's a little bit like, in Memento, how he talks about being able to trust his own handwriting. Or learning to trust his own handwriting, rather. I'm trying to think back over the interview. We definitely had Drama come in a couple of times and say that she wasn't lying. Now we have to know we can't trust those. But shit, man. I don't know what to make of this. All this really means, I think, for the moment, is that we can't necessarily trust any information that we learned during this interview at all. Parts of it were corroborated by the Hardys. We know that she and the guy were spending time together before he raped her, right? Before the Hardys say that he raped her and she says that he didn't. And we know that she did party with the Hardy Boys. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. Come on, guys. How did this happen? How it always does. Through subtlety. So what can I do? There's nothing you can do about it. You are how you are, and she is how she is. Things will go as they do. Well, can't you turn them normal again? No. What use is this, then? It's better to know you're being played than to be played without knowing it, is it not? Yeah, no, you're right. Alright, I've been talking to myself long enough. Let's get back to it. Don't worry, it's only been like 4 or 5 seconds. You've got this. I should not say this. This is not going to help. If she is manipulating me, she's not going to be like, oh yeah, and it's super fun. And even if she did, how would that help us? I'm just going to close my eyes and let the moment pass. For a second, her face disappears from your cornea. Only a silvery negative remains. She's still smiling a tired smile. So now we could probably press on some stuff. I need to talk to you about your room again. The window's new. I'm not allowed to make any further efforts on that, huh? Alright, well. Maybe now we press her about the drugs? You know, you have quite the collection of prescription drugs down there. Thank you. I've put a lot of time and effort into it, she says without any discernible irony. It was quite impressive. How did you amass such a hoard? With money, sir. She takes a drag. It's not exactly the anti-star-sized caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting there. The collection includes Nacra, an opioid antagonist. Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids. Is that something that happens to you often, miss? His tone isn't aggressive, just inquisitive. Better safe than sorry. She takes a drag and smiles. If I talk to her about the Preptide, then Kim's probably going to have questions about why I didn't mention the Preptide, and then he's going to probably want to take the Preptide, and I'm going to have to take it out of my own pocket. So maybe let's not do that. I don't think that we're going to get a lot of value out of that anyway. Well, shit, man. I don't think that we're going to get any new information here. Let me see here. Yeah, I was just curious about whether or not we had any new options appearing. All right, let's bounce. Let's return to this later. Why not? I'll be here until 11, drinking coffee most likely. Looks like we got that done just in time. Let's step back inside, and we'll talk to Kim. So we don't necessarily really know what happened here. We know her version. We know the version that she wants us to hear about what happened. And we know the little bit that we heard from Titus, who was probably also lying to us.
We have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy Boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window.
You think this will make them cooperate? Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. Yeah, why did she tell us all of that? What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. Oh no, you would have caught it. Like hell you would have, remember? Which one of these... Like, I definitely want to let Kim in on the fact that I feel compromised here. He's got to not rely on my help even more than usual. But which version of that do we say? I have reason to doubt my ability to see through her lies. If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. Something's off here. It's a bad feeling. You think so? A shadow runs across his face. She seemed forthcoming, unusually so. Being forthcoming about some things is a good way to obscure other things. Yeah, admitting to small lies, admitting to small crimes is a really good way to cover big crimes. That's just solid lying strategy. The best liars are always forthcoming. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our investigation will bring us back here soon enough. Yeah, man. Can I inspect the window a little bit more thoroughly, maybe, now that we have more information? No. Something's not right here, and I'm not sure what it is. I just have a real bad feeling at this point. Well, maybe this is a good place to call it for today. This episode, which I was kind of afraid was going to turn into me just walking around doing nothing, actually has been very interesting. I hope I'm not the only one who thinks so. Come back next time, tomorrow, to see if we can't figure out anything at all about what to do with this lack of information that we have. And we'll see you then.